How's it going, Preston Outdoors fans? This is your host, Ethan Preston. In today's video, I want to talk to you about one of the new bass rods coming out from KastKing. Kind of a little unboxing video for you. Just took it out of the package. I'm going to spare you the details on me cutting open a box, as you've seen 1,000 times here on YouTube. I just want to talk to you about the rod. So if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button below. Also hit the little bell icon so you get a notification every time I upload a video so you don't miss anything. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and don't forget about Snapchat. All of them at Preston Outdoors so you can kind of keep track of what I'm up to. But enough of that. I'm going to get into this unboxing video of the new KastKing Speed Demon rod. And here you have it. This is the KastKing Speed Demon rod. First looks at it, red and black, sleek colors. This happens to be part of their species-specific lineup. This is a bass rod, as I mentioned before, but it's also technique-specific inside that category. So for this rod, this is a 7-foot cranking rod. The Speed Demon 7-foot cranking rod. Let's see what kind of action tip. We have a moderate action on this rod. Power is a medium. It says it right here so you know what rod is in your rod locker. Black and red. It's got the cork handle here, exposed blank with the KastKing Sharky logo, and then the KastKing Sharky logo there on the lure keeper, and here on the butt of the rod you have the logo and stamp as well. So the difference between this rod and a lot of the other technique-specific rods, is that this is a S-glass rod. This is a specific for crankbaiting. It's a moderate action rod, so it loads up a lot more, a little less backbone than your medium, heavy, and stuff like that. Got a little bit of whip to it, okay? I'll go into specifics later on why it's important. I think it's important to have a glass rod and stuff like that when you're cranking, but this is, like I said, specific for crankbaiting. Another component that's pretty standard here at the KastKing rods is the Fuji line guides. Again, as you can see here, a little bit smaller guides. Also, again, with this Speed Demon rod, we're looking at the Fuji reel seat here. Cranked down with the cork handle. So another thing I want to talk to you about here is that the weight of this rod was really phenomenal when I just pulled it out of the box. It is 6.8 ounces before you put a reel, line, and lure on here and stuff. 6.8 ounces for a cranking rod, 7-foot cranking rod, is pretty phenomenal. Most of the other times, some other rods that I've used that have been a little bit longer, a little bit shorter, they're kind of a heavy, top-heavy rod. Once you put a reel on there and stuff, your rod is end up tipping down like this, kind of a little bit of your wrist to lift it up. So 6.8 ounces is phenomenal. I think it's going to increase my bite sensitivity or my sensitivity to let me know when I'm hitting structure with my crankbait. I mentioned that this is part of their species-specific rod lineup, their bass rods, but it is also inside that category is technique-specific. Like I mentioned, this is a 7-foot crankbait rod. They also have 11 different technique-specific rods in the Speed Demon lineup. Okay, so if you're looking for any of your different techniques to cover your for bass fishing, they're going to have one in the Speed Demon rod. So even though we're looking at high-quality components in this rod, you'll be surprised to hear that this rod is under $80, okay? I like to buy a lot of rods or fishing tackle in general that I've talked about in my previous videos. Try and find the lowest prices but the best quality and try and find somewhere in between. Under $80 for this rod is pretty phenomenal for what we have into it. So that's what I'm excited about here, is that the average fisherman is going to be able to go out and get you one of these rods, a couple of them maybe, and be able to go out and fish with them and have different technique-specific rods for bass fishing. So in closing with this video, what I want to try and do with this is I'm going to try and throw some bigger crankbaits, some 10XDs, some 7XDs, even throw a little bit. This is the only glass rod that I have right now, so I even might throw some square bills on this in between, trying to throw some deeper crankbaits. I'm really excited to see how this rod loads up at being 7 foot. I'm probably going to throw a smaller gear ratio reel on there to kind of wind it, probably fluorocarbon, stuff like that. And so what I wanted to do in this video, kind of unbox it, I guess you could say, talk about the components of it and let you know why I got this rod and what I'm excited about. Later on, I will be doing a review video on this rod specifically, hopefully after I catch some fish, how it handles some fish, how it casts, how it lines up, stuff like that. So be on the lookout for that video. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Be on the lookout for my next video, another unboxing video. We're going to be doing another KastKing bass rod that I'm really excited to get my hands on. It's kind of up the level in some different components and stuff compared to the last two rods that I talked about. So I want to thank you guys for watching and tune in next time to Preston Outdoors.